All right, everybody, welcome back to Beer O'Clock. Like so many of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s, we grew up watching sitcoms. And what would sitcoms be without the sitcom moms? Am I right, Adam?
I mean, you grew up with them. I grew up with them. They were lovable. They taught us lessons. They let us get away with things that we shouldn't have. And I don't think we'd be the men we are today if it wasn't for these wonderful moms out there.
Wonderful moms. They were kind of our moms, you know, in a way. We spent years with them and sitting and learning from them and admiring them and their families and their motherly ways. As a result, me and Adam decided that we wanted to take some time here to do a tier list ranking of 80s and 90s sitcom moms. Now, we have not made any sort of criteria here for where we're ranking them. We're just ranking them based off of the vibes. So you can certainly feel free to disagree. I think there's a whole lot of factors that make up a mom's vibe, but we're not going to disclose those things because we just want this to be fun and stupid. So we're going to go ahead and rank these 80s and 90s sitcom moms. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments where you would rank these moms, and we'll do our best to explain why we're going to put them where we're going to put them. So first up here on the list, we have, I'm just going to put her up here and just in a place. This is not where she's going to stay. This is just so she's separated from the rest of the group. We have Amy Matthews from Boy Meets World. I used to love this show. This is one that I watched after school. I'm assuming it was probably reruns by that point because it also came on in the evenings too, I know. Were you a Boy Meets World fan?
You know, this is one that I'm not really that familiar with, admittedly. Wow. I did not watch a lot of Boy Meets World growing up.
That's shocking. Boy Meets World, you got the boy, he's meeting the world. He's got Topanga, the hot girlfriend. You know Topanga at least, right?
Of course.
Okay, yeah, you have to know that. My gosh. Yeah.
I don't understand the infatuation, but yeah, I know of the character.
Oh, spicy opinions coming from Adam. So you don't get the Topanga hype.
I mean, you know, if it's like an episode of Hot or Not, I'm not saying that she's a not, but I'm not saying that she's a hot. You know, it's like, you know, 7? A 7? Is that bold?
7 out of 10, you're saying is where you would rank? Okay, what if you were to throw her on this tier list here, but it was a tier list of hotness? What letter would she get?
High C, low B.
High C, low B. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I'm really counting on you guys to chime in on this.
I'm going to get impaled for this.
I want to see what people think. Anyways, this isn't a Topanga show. Topanga's not a mom. This is a
digress.
Mom show. Yes, yeah. So, Amy Matthews, so you don't really have a whole lot, any feelings about it.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of input on this one, sadly.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think I have to go C just because it's the perfect neutral.
Yeah. Very kind, very supportive. Corey always had his friend Sean around, and she was always cool with Corey having his friends and stuff like that, which was pretty nice. But, you know, even having watched a ton of this show, I don't find her to be terribly impactful. Like, I don't have a lot of like really strong memories for her. So I think honestly, I'm going to agree with you and put her as a C. I loved her in the show, but this is about ranking like the most strongest and impactful people. And I said it's all based on the vibes, but her vibe wasn't terribly strong. So yeah, I'm gonna put her there in C. So next we have Angela Bauer from Who's the Boss. Big blonde hair. When I look at that picture, it's just like that's the one thing that comes to my mind is big blonde hair. But that was the era back then. We were talking about this, or actually earlier tonight in a stream. I find the show Who's the Boss to be so funny because the concept is just so incredibly dated. It's who's the boss? Oh, the woman's the boss and the man is the employee. He's cooking dinner. It's like these are such 80s concepts. It's like now if you made that show, it'd be like, you know, what's the big deal? She's the boss. You know? Yeah. The fact who's the boss was such a shocking question to ask because it's like the woman is the boss.
That's the thing. He's cleaning.
Who would think that a man could know how to do such things?
He can fold laundry.
Well, and actually, come to think of this now, Tony Danza was also a single father, if I'm remembering correctly. I know the mom isn't in the picture. I don't know if she was dead or if they were estranged or what, but it was Tony Danza and his daughter Alyssa Milano. So it's again another role reversal kind of thing where it's a single father instead of a single mother. She was
like a widower.
Maybe he's a widower. I don't remember well enough. This show,
I think so. I can't remember though. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, we'll have to Google when this show was actually on the air because my memories of it are hazy. Like, I remember watching it a lot, but I feel like I was probably really young when I was watching this show. Angela Bauer, any thoughts on her or any impressions from the show?
Well, we're starting with at least B tier for the hair alone.
That hair.
The hair alone commands respect, first off. And plus she gets bonus points for being such a trailblazer in the strong independent boss mom movement. So, if you are growing up and you remember your mom being a working badass, she's to thank, one of the ones to thank for it.
As Kramer would say, she'd bring home the bacon and fry it in the pan.
And fried in the pan.
Yeah, that hair is freaking iconic, though. My gosh, it's like that. If you just Google the '80s, it would just be a picture of that hair. Because that big ass hair was everywhere.
We call that the faucet.
Right, the faucet. She was a single mom. She was very fair with Tony Danza. She was tough, kind of a no-nonsense gal. I remember this. I don't remember her being terribly strict with her son, and I remember her son kind of being a weirdo. But I think that may have been more as he got older and stuff like that. The funny thing is that her mom, we had a conversation before this of whether we were going to include moms of moms, and we decided that if they're menopausal or above, then we have to draw a line somewhere. But if you were to put Angela Bauer's mom on this list, she would be H tier for horny. I remember that woman was like a freak, and being a kid and being like, half the jokes that she made, I didn't understand them, and my parents, they had that look on their face like they just were not happy, and it's like, oh, she said something that was dirty right there. No, Angela, I loved the big blonde hair. Always thought she was super hot as a kid because it was the 80s and I love the big blonde hair. But again, not a terribly strong impression. I think she's actually perfectly suited for B, where we've got her right now. And like you said, the hair got her there.
Yeah, I think strong upvotes for, obviously for style points and street cred, but probably not the most nurturing. She's not like she's gonna not bullshit you at all, so you don't get any of the whole like, it's okay, you're still a winner, right? She would be like, well, you came in third place because 2 people beat you that were better than you. So maybe next time try to be better than those people.
Yeah, okay, not as soft as some of them. She was definitely no Amy Matthews. Amy would have been a lot softer than Angela Bauer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, but she's also would get you baller ass Christmas presents. That's the fact too, though. Oh,
for sure. Yeah, businesswoman. She bringing in.
You're getting
money.
The power glove if she's your mom.
Hey, she's got Tony Danza at home on the payroll. She's got to have some money laying around, right?
Yeah, you're getting the Game Boy and the power glove.
That made me think of my friend that I told you about, that he had divorced parents and he was spoiled rotten, and he had 2 Game Boys, so he's like, I'll sell you my other one for $50, and I was like, hell yeah. That blew my mind. I actually still have that Game Boy.
That's awesome. Actually, the one
still got it. It sadly doesn't work anymore. I'm sure it's just something small that needs to get fixed on it, but no, I do still have it actually.
I'll just send it to DK Oldies. They'll refurbish it for you.
For sure, yeah. They definitely won't cut it open when they open the box either or anything like that.
I'm with you. I'm going B.
I think B's very good for her. Yeah. Coming up next, we got Aunt Becky. Aunt Becky from Full House. While her name is Aunt Becky, she is also a mom. And she was a mom to twins. So I think she gets a little bit of extra credit for that. So and it's funny now knowing that, like, of course, her being on Seinfeld and I mean several other things, obviously, and stuff like that. But like, I think Aunt Becky was my first exposure to this actress, and I'm blanking on her name right now. Do you remember?
Lori Loughlin or?
Yeah, Lori Loughlin.
Loughlin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Peanut. Everybody, look at Peanut. Like and subscribe for Peanut. Peanut's our new dog.
Peanut, she's our new dog.
I guess she's like licking her, well, not balls.
Peanut, you're on camera. Hey, you're on camera. That's my girl.
This is a family show, Peanut. Please calm down. She's like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
thank you. Sorry.
What's this bullshit?
What's this bullshit?
Any thoughts on Aunt Becky? Any feelings for Aunt Becky there?
I mean, as far as like mom goes, I don't like, since she was like an aunt in the show, I never really got true like mom vibes from her, even though she was the mom of the Olsen twins.
Well, no, not the Olsen twins. She had the little boys, remember?
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I retract that.
Have mercy and all that.
Have mercy.
I think Aunt Becky is our first example of a truly hot mom on the list, right? I mean, no disrespect to Amy Matthews or Angela Bauer, because they're both very attractive ladies too, but I think Aunt Becky's our first hot mom.
And, not looks like a mom.
True. Yeah.
Like, she does not look like a mom. She looks like the hot teacher that you have that teaches English at your high school.
Was she like a weather girl or something? What was her job? I can't remember. She was on TV or something though, right?
I can't recall.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to edit that out. Aunt Becky. Okay, the thing about Aunt Becky, she's a mom to twins. She has to live with Danny Tanner. She has to live with Uncle Joey. And she has to live with Uncle Jesse. And she has to live with Danny Tanner's kids. And she has to have twins with Uncle Jesse. This chick is doing a ton. And I'll tell you what, man. While her boys were very young, so you saw her essentially keeping them alive, which is basically what your job is when you have very small children. But like, she was super rad to those girls though, to DJ and Stephanie and Michelle. I don't know, man. I really feel like combine the fact that she's like freaking insane, mad skills, going hard in the paint, and she's a hot mom, I feel like she's an A, personally.
Now, we are just only talking about her character, not her as a person.
Yeah, not her, right? Yeah, because she's one of the people who like bribed the school for a kid or whatever. Like, yeah, just the character, nothing about her.
We're separating the art from the.
I'm glad you made that distinction. Actually, I didn't even think about that. So yes, we're purely talking about.
So in that through Aunt that Becky. Lens, yes, through that lens, I agree with you that she's an A.
Yeah, I teetered on S, but I want to be really stingy with the S's.
S is too high.
Yeah, I think she's a solid A, but I don't think she's an S. I don't know why these are out of order here, so I'm just going to move this one up here first, and we're going to say Aunt Viv. She was only on the show for a few seasons, and this one was eventually replaced. Apparently, like, she was like really hard to work with or something, I think is the story. Correct us if we're wrong in the comments. But OG Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, she is a heavyweight contender, in my opinion. What do you think?
She's a heavyweight contender?
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched Fresh Prince a lot. I'm in the C category right now, but I could be swayed.
Whoa, C category, really?
I'm C right now. Yeah,
man,
I could be swayed though.
This is the deal that with Aunt Viv is she took in Will, which was definitely a sacrifice because Will was not easy. I mean, I don't know if I'd call him a troubled youth or anything like that, but I mean, look at her own children. He's nothing like them. But she took in Will. She nurtured him. She guided him. But she's a strong freaking woman, and she will stand up to people and stand up for what's right. Good wife to Uncle Phil. I was gonna put her in A, but then I think about this. Carlton and Hillary were kind of a mess. They weren't bad kids or anything, but there definitely, I don't think, was a whole lot of discipline going on there. I think probably a lot of that was left up to Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say B. I feel like she's a B still. When I think about her own blood children, it's like, man. But Carlton and Hillary were strengthened, I think, by their relationship with Will. Ashley was always well put together. She always had her shit figured out.
And plus, Will's mom was her sister, right?
Yes.
All right. So I mean, that's even more ups.
Yeah, I think they were very generous with Will, and they did a good job taking care of him and stuff. I love a strong woman. She's a strong woman, but I think she's a good B.
I'm good with that.
Aunt Viv number 2. I'm just gonna put her here. I think she's a C tier. She's Aunt Viv, but without any of the spunk, basically.
Phrasing.
Not that she's a weakling or anything like that, but I mean, even just look at those 2 pictures. You can tell one of them's a badass and one of them isn't. I think OG Aunt Viv could take her. If they were arm wrestling, OG Aunt Viv would definitely show her the door.
Yes, I would agree. One of them looks like one's going to take you shopping and the one's going to break their foot off in your ass.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I would say that Aunt Viv number 2 is a pushover necessarily, but she's just a little too soft for me, man. Okay, I gotta look over here. Actually, no, hold on. I had to look and find out what this lady's name was again. Carol Foster Lambert, from the mom from Step by Step. Suzanne Summers from Step by Step. Next up on the list here. Step by Step, part of TGIF. So I think she gets some cred for that, being a part of the TGIF crew. She's a hot blonde mom. And that's about it. I truly remember next to nothing about her character, or even that show for that matter. I just know that
probably drives a white BMW SUV. Her favorite wine is a buttery Chardonnay, for sure.
She, I guess I have to give her some credit, because the whole deal is that her and her husband, played by Patrick Duffy, I think his name is, they're both divorced parents, and then it's kind of like Brady Bunch. They marry each other and then they got a shitload of kids in their house. I guess she needs to get credit for the fact that she's got a ton of kids to look out for, and being as she was on TGIF, she probably did a pretty good job, because TGIF was all about family values and whatnot. But I don't remember anything about her. I remember Cody from that show, who was like the dumb surfer or whatever dude who ended up being a wife beater or something in real life. I remember he was always in love with Dana, who
memories.
Who I was also in love with Dana. But yeah, I remember those 2 things, and that's kind of it. I think there was a nerdy kid in there somewhere, but there's always a nerdy kid in these shows. Suzanne Summers, Carol something Lambert, I'm gonna put her as an F. There's someone has to go down there. I'm not saying she's bad. She's just not memorable. And being a hot blonde just doesn't get you everything in the world, Suzanne. I'm sorry.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Well, here, let's get on to a really good one here. Claire freaking Huxtable. What else do you say? She was around Bill Cosby for decades. So she probably deserves a medal for that.
Yeah.
But no, Claire Huxtable, the character.
But remember, we have to go by character.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're separating art from the artist.
She's a hell of a mom, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's a beautiful lady. She was funny. She was smart. She mothered the heck out of her kids and taught them respect. Firm as heck with them, but also very, very loving.
If it's not an S tier, I don't know what is.
Gotta be the most memorable mom of all time in sitcoms, I guess I would say that. But seriously, Claire Fudgeon Huxtable, man, she brings the heat. And I think anybody else in this list is going to have a hard time stacking up against her.
Agreed.
Marie Barone. Not Marie Barone. She's Debra Barone. Sorry. Marie. We already talked before. We're not doing the moms of moms. We were going to have Marie Barone in here. This is Debra Barone, played by Patricia Heaton. From Everybody Loves Raymond. Married to Raymond, who's kind of a moron. Had to tolerate his parents living across the street. I think she gets some points for that. Raising their kids and taking care of the house. Did a heck of a good job there. Kind of a nag. A little naggy. She's a good mom, though. And she was funny as heck, too. And a very, very hot mom. What do you think? What do you think about Debra Barone?
Typical Midwestern mom. I think
Weren't they in New York?
Nails the role. Well, okay, maybe not Midwest. I mean, I guess New York's still kind of Midwestern.
No, New York is not Midwestern. That's New England.
I mean, Ohio's considered Midwestern.
Yeah, I never understood that. Oh, Ohio, Midwest?
I mean, okay. Well,
people call Wisconsin the Midwest too, and it's like, how much of the United States is the Midwest?
We're all Midwest, Steve.
Yeah, seriously.
We're all Midwest.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I just mean fit your typical middle-class American family mom. I think in every aspect nails it to a good degree. Because she's a stay-at-home mom, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, she may have taken some jobs off and on, but I don't remember her ever having like a go-to-work job, really.
Yeah, stay-at-home mom, has to deal with the kids all day, typical, and the husband gets home from the job, and it's like, Raymond, when are you gonna fix the bathroom?
And she also had twins. This is another twin haver. So her and Aunt Becky both.
Which is weirdly more common on sitcoms, I guess, when you really think about it. I'm good with B. Good with B.
I think I'm good with B as well. Like I said, she can be kind of tough, but I also kind of feel like she had to, because holy hell, how else do you survive?
She had to put up with Ray's parents, which would be an absolute nightmare.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know that I could watch that show now, having been married for as long as I have and seeing all the stuff that goes on between them and the family. I'm just like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Did the actress that plays Ray's mom, did she pass?
Yes.
Damn, I thought so. I couldn't remember though.
Doris Roberts, I think was her name.
Man, she was hilarious.
Oh, she was. Yeah, she was great. Yeah, and she killed it in this show too. The entire cast of this show was good.
Really did. Yeah.
So, Harriet Winslow, Family Matters. Harriet, I also see as being a pretty strong contender.
Easy A for me.
Easy A for you? I think I'm going to I'm not even going to belabor the point. I'm going to agree on that. Damn good mom. Husband that's a cop. Putting up with Steve Urkel's nonsense. Yeah.
Still had good jokes. She could roast. She had some good roasts.
Oh, yeah. She's got that attitude and that sass, and I loved it, man. And it's like, she honestly was one of the stronger parts of the show for me. I loved her character. What they brought in the grandma I wasn't ever really into, but like I always thought Harriet was really funny. But no, yeah, Harriet Winslow, I don't even know. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for not saying any more about her, but I think she's just an easy A. Like, what else can you say about that?
Right?
Jill Taylor, wife of Tim the Toolman Taylor. He's on a TV show and he's a man all the way down, and tools and cars and breaking things and roughhousing and all that. And Jill was there for all of those things. They got 3 boys. They live in Detroit, I think, if I remember correctly.
I think it is Detroit, yeah.
Yeah, I think they get bonus points for living in Detroit, because who the world wants to live in Detroit? Sorry if you live in Detroit.
This is pre-RoboCop era Detroit. So
pre-RoboCop Detroit, yeah. We survived pre-RoboCop Detroit. Jill, I think also another like Harriet, a very funny mom. I thought she had a lot of good humorous moments in the show.
The only thing I don't like is I don't like her smart-ass kids.
Yeah?
I think her kids would be like the kids that think that they're like cooler than everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, because, Tim's such a macho, I'm in control of everything kind of guy. And I think that, she doesn't facilitates that kind of thing. Like, yeah, you are the best, So I'm saying, but she was funny. Had to put up with Tim. I get that, but I don't know. I don't like her smart ass kids. Giving her a C.
I love the giving her a C. I love that. Like you're you made her smart ass kids. It's like those musicians and their complicated shoes. Well, it's like they're Tim Allen's kids. They got it. Well, and she was a smart ass too, quite a bit though.
Like the youngest one would probably be the kid that gets a fillet at the restaurant.
The youngest one? I mean? Mark, who went goth.
Yeah, Mark. Mark's getting a fillet, and he's like 12 years old.
Do you remember when
they go out to eat? Like Tim is eating a cheeseburger, and Mark's eating a 6-ounce fillet because he only eats steak or chicken fingers, and he had chicken fingers last night. You know what I mean?
Is
Like,
that a
that's
thing
what's going
as a
on.
restaurant guy? Is that a thing, steak or chicken fingers? I know the chicken fingers thing.
There's an abundance of young kids that get like the most expensive steaks on the menu, and like their dad is over there eating like spaghetti and marinara sauce while the kid's eating like a fucking ribeye. You know, and it's like, man, I never got anything like that. What kind of families are you growing up in?
I remember the first time I ate a steak, I was like, what in the world? It was, and
what is this?
Yeah, it was wild. And my dad had even suggested it to me. I was like, what? We can do that? So you got her at C. I wish there was a plus or minus, like you could make like a B minus or something like that.
Can you have her float in between B and C?
No,
like half on, half off.
I'd have to hold her like this the whole time.
Okay.
You know what? I think I'm okay.
Maybe she's more B than C. Maybe I'm too harsh.
Well, she did make those kids.
Well, do you agree? Do you think? I mean,
I was teetering, but I think I was leaning more toward B. But
all right, let's go B. Maybe I'm just too much of a jaded old curmudgeon, and I'm letting that way too much into the overall picture.
Yeah. She was super supportive of Tim, even though he was a jackass.
Yeah, and she had some good zingers too. I just don't like her smart ass kids.
That's got to be a t-shirt now. Thanks for watching part 1 of the 80s and 90s sitcom moms tier list. What do you think of our ratings so far? Agree? Disagree? Did we leave someone out? Leave us a comment and let us know. If you enjoyed the video, do us a huge favor and hit the like button. If you enjoyed the video but haven't subscribed, it's not too late to fix that. We'll be back with part 2 next week, or maybe sooner if I get impatient. In the meantime, check out the recommended video on the left. And if you'd like to watch me and Adam talk about Seinfeld for a long time, check out the playlist on the right. And lastly, if you're a strong independent viewer that don't need no YouTuber, just poke around the channel. There's tons of stuff there. See ya.